Hello and welcome to Curated Spaces. I'm Molly Cooper and this is the London edition. In our first ever mini-season, we'll be featuring the best spaces to stay, work and play around the city, from timeless icons to under-the-radar finds. And as well as sitting down with the teams who brought them to life, I'll be bringing you the inside scoop from some pretty amazing people getting up to some pretty great things within travel, design and hospitality. I'm so excited to share all their stories with you, so let's get into it, shall we? In today's Snapshot episode, I'm sitting down with Athina Bluff, founder of Topology, the interior studio that is giving everyone access to bespoke designs for their home. A lover of all things London, she's going to share her favourite places around the city to eat, drink and soak up inspiration for her own designs. Athina, it's such a pleasure to be here with you today. Welcome to Curated Spaces. How are you doing?
Good, thank you so much for having me. This is like the best topic to ever chat about on a podcast. I'm thrilled.
Literally such a dream. Interiors and London in this beautiful little studio in Soho House. I mean, couldn't get more London than that, could it?
I do feel very London today, for sure.
You look quite London too, actually.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Before we get into London and the big city,
Yes.
I'd love to talk a bit about you and your background and how you came to found Topology.
So Topology is an interior design company and we're kind of centered around making interior design accessible for the mass market and the everyday person. So I used to work in the luxury furniture industry and I was surrounded by furniture where like a sofa was like 10 grand and it was just so unattainably expensive. And I just kept thinking like there has to be another way of making interior design like much more achievable for people like me. So I set up the company with that as like a core value. Yeah. And almost 8 years later, I think now we're still going strong and we kind of center ourselves around making design accessible, attainable and affordable.
I love it. I actually got my first flat last summer and oh my God, what a baptism of fire, how much things cost. Like chairs, dining table chairs blew my mind.
Absolutely terrifying. My advice for anyone who is thinking about doing a renovation and kind of like just putting it on the back burner is honestly just get going with it because the costs are going up exponentially at the moment. The statistic that I like to share with people is like MDF, which is like your basic wood, used on every sort of renovation. It used to cost like pre-Brexit, I think it was like £16 a sheet. Yeah. It's now over 100.
What?
And this like product blow up in pricing has just like gone to your chairs, your furniture, your labour costs. So yeah, getting renovations done on the cheap now is so hard. So if you're out there and thinking of doing one, honestly, just start it now.
Just do it. Yeah. Okay, and tell me how it actually works. I know that they can sign up, they have like an online consultation. I'd love to know what that looks like.
So we basically offer two different types of service. One is what we call online design or e-design. Yeah. And if you were my client, you would come to me with photos of your space, measurements too, and we would just draw up everything that you would need to bring that design to life. So it could be anything from a layout to a mood board, to a shopping list, to access to trade discounts. Everything would be essentially a click of a button for you to bring it to life. That's our affordable service. It starts from $299 per room. And then there's also our kind of traditional interior design service, which is more on-site project management, turnkey service. Like we'll literally come over and do everything to unpacking boxes and getting the trades in. And that is for people based in London and a slightly more premium service. But yeah, we find that the e-design is super popular because we can kind of access anyone all over the UK. And hopefully it gives people a chance to kind of, create an inspiring home with just someone that's like a personal cheerleader on the sidelines to get it done.
A little bit of moral support for when the times get tough.
Yeah, and there's so many products and decisions and trends constantly saturating us on like Instagram, Pinterest. So to have someone to kind of like guide you along that process and I guess give you that bit of confidence as well is just, I think, what clients really love.
I love that. And you must get so much inspiration. You're just exposed to so many cool spaces living here in the capital. Shall we get into it then and talk about this amazing city of ours? Now, we're both South London girls, so it might be a bit more leaning towards this side of the river. But let's start with maybe an overview of the city. Where's hot right now? What neighbourhoods are people flocking to?
Okay, so I'll split it up into 4 different sections. So we'll start with South London. Yes. So I really love Peckham. To me, Peckham is really charming. It's independent. Lots of restaurants, bars and shops really closely knit together. Brixton, I live in Brixton personally. I do love it. It can be quite intense, so it's not for everyone. But one like absolute gem for me is Brockwell Park. To me, it is like the best park in London. It does have some really good restaurants as well, which we can kind of go into in more detail. And then same for Camberwell and Oval. They're actually really easy for anyone around London to get to. They're actually like deceptively quite central. Really great for sort of like candlelit wine bars and upmarket pubs.
Yeah.
Next, we have North London. So I think the two stand-up places here are kind of Islington and Hampstead. Everyone loves Islington for its kind of stunning architecture. If you're like an interior design lover, the Georgian homes there are honestly just, you can walk through Islington and it can be the worst weather, so gloomy and grey, but it's still so beautiful. And it's really lovely for sort of high street independent shops, quirky little streets, picturesque settings. So those two places are really great. East London, Dalston and Hackney, definitely got to have a shout out. Really great for, again, independent restaurants, quirky cafes and shops and bars. And then West London, I think stunning architecture. You think like Notting Hill, Kensington, a bit like Islington. No matter what the weather is, it's always going to look so gorgeous. Kensington as well. So really good there for kind of high-end shopping if you've got bigger budgets. And I like to call this little thing that I do called nebbing. It's what me and my boyfriend call it. When we go nebbing, it means we're like walking down a street and we're looking at houses and kind of imagining which house that we want for ourselves. And we always say like, should we go nebbing in Notting Hill or nebbing in Kensington? And yeah, just we like to kind of imagine our lives in these incredible homes.
Oh my God, I love that. I kind of do that, but I didn't know if there was a name for it. I'm going to jump on your nebbing train.
I don't think there is a name for it. So yeah, we just call it nebbing. I don't really know why.
Okay, I love
just want to go for a neb. Do you want to go for a walking neb?
I love nebbing.
Yeah.
Okay, love that. And then let's go into food then. London has such an amazing food scene. Like, I just think they have this mix of food, but also like the interiors, the aesthetic, the vibe, the experience.
100%.
It's just something that London restaurants do so well. So
Yes.
let's chat about that then.
So for me, going to a restaurant is obviously such a treat, but you really do want that whole experience of walking in and being wowed by not only the staff and the food, but the whole atmosphere.
Yeah.
And our whole team at Topology, we're so fussy with like the aesthetics, which I know is really superficial, but it just really enhances your whole experience whilst you're there. So to me, all these restaurants that I'm going to be suggesting are ones that are like honestly fail-proof for a really beautiful ambience and a good time. I have been to so many restaurants where the food has been awesome, but like the lighting is so off and it stresses me out. So they've not made the shortlist. But if we start in South London, I'll just list a couple of my favourites. So Forza, I don't know if you've ever been there.
Love Forza.
Yeah, Forza is great. Or Forza Win, which is at the top of Market in Peckham. It's like a rooftop bar. Amazing views over London. Food is literally just 10 out of 10 always. I've probably been there like 10 times and never had a bad experience. And then Levan, Kudu, Little Cellars is great. And then if we move on to kind of like Camberwell and Oval, there's a Cable Cafe and Theo's Pizza. The Camberwell Arms as well is a really great upmarket pub. And their food is awesome. And then Brixton, one of my new favourite places, is somewhere called Bottle and Rye. It's like a really tiny, I would say kind of like candlelit bar that does like picky food. And the food is just like really interesting and unique, very much like a Forza style. And it feels very romantic. So really good date night spot. And then Naughty Piglets, I've never been to, but I keep hearing amazing things. That's also in Brixton. And Llewellyn's. Went there and loved it. Like it is expensive, but I just, I love it.
It's so worth it. A lot of people I know are like, that's their go-to birthday dinner spot.
Yeah.
Love Llewellyn's.
I really like it. It just feels like you're in a film because it's in the middle of Herne Hill and it's like got lots of like festoon lights and trees outside. It's just perfect.
I think what South does so well is these really cute, very neighbourhood, really good food, but super chill. Like you can just go along midweek, you can take a friend, you can go by yourself. Just great food, low key, really nice spots all around. There's no like pretentiousness, which I love.
Definitely. That's so true, actually. East London. So this is a recommendation of one of the girls at work, but I had been there a couple of times and I completely agree with her and understand why it's one of her favourite restaurants. But it's called Angelina's and it's in Hackney. I don't know if you've been.
I have. I love Angelina's. I've never actually been.
So I think it's Italian-Japanese fusion and they've been gunning for a Michelin star and didn't quite get it. But they do sort of tasting menus and you pay before you go. So when you get there, it's quite a nice experience because you kind of feel like you've already paid for the bill. You just sort of pay for your drinks. But the food is incredible. They come out and do like a full description. It's really unique. even if there are like ingredients on the menu that you're like, oh, not sure, it's one of those places where it's just delicious regardless.
Yeah.
So I definitely would recommend then. Really nice vibe as well. Another one I love is also called Bistro. So I've been there a couple of times. It's like a bit of a very, very East London vibe. It's in a warehouse, but it's quite upmarket and it's a really good brunch spot. When I went there for brunch, they had a guy on the piano doing like classical versions of pop songs whilst you ate, which was just such a like a fun background thing. And then I've been back for dinner, and again, it was like so full of like a great atmosphere, like all very candlelit and dimly lit, and just really lovely and good food. And then a couple of others, Satan's Whiskers and also Manteca. Manteca is so hard to get at the table for.
Impossible, but it's just so good.
It is good. My only critique is the lighting. I don't think the lighting is good. Last time I was there, they have these lights on the table. I put like a scarf over it because I was like, it's so bright.
Yeah.
And us 4 designers going there, all we would comment on is like, God, the lighting is so bad in here. We even asked the waiter if he could like turn the light down over our table.
Okay,
but,
so never go for dinner with an interior designer.
Yeah, or if a first time date, maybe not that kind of place, but food is awesome. And then West London, Straker's, Jacuzzi, Clark's and Crisp. Jacuzzi, the food isn't amazing. It's part of the Big Mama groups. They do like Gloria and Secola Popular. But if you want to go somewhere that's like a little bit fun, the food is so over the top in terms of its appearance, and the decor is like next level.
Yeah.
Very Instagrammy. I think it's a fun one. And then Crisp is that pizza place that's getting all that hype at the moment. I've not actually been, but one of the girls at work went and said it was the best pizza she'd ever had.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's quite a claim in London because there's a few good spots.
Yeah. And then just finishing on North London and Central London, shout out to Jolene, Mangal, My Neighbours, The Dumpling, Weston's Laundry, The Ned for just the most incredible interiors as a hotel ever. Fallow and Bedale's Wine Bar, to name just a few.
Gorgeous. God, what a little lineup there. If anyone's coming to London or was looking for their next date night birthday spot,
write them all down.
Tuck into that.
You won't be disappointed. Especially, I went to the Ned recently for Christmas, and it used to be an old bank. I was reading all about it, and like the decor in there is honestly mind-blowing. Like the scale is huge. The renovation, I think, cost like hundreds of millions.
It's crazy.
So it's a really nice spot for like a little
and they
glass
still
of
have
wine.
the original vaults.
Yes,
which
I
is
know.
so
The
cool.
door is so thick, and I think you can actually rent out one of the rooms downstairs, which is all the old security deposit boxes.
Fun.
So yeah, really, really
so
cool.
You can
spot.
literally have a lock-in. I love
Yeah,
that.
yeah, exactly.
Oh, amazing. So apart from restaurants, where else do you like to get your inspiration from around London? Are there shops? Are there just spaces you go to or go back to time and time again?
So, I mean, I actually really like taking colour combinations from like my surroundings, especially when I'm on holiday. London, I guess, is a little bit tricky because it is so grey here. But my taste is, I really love like really contemporary pieces. So modern lighting or materials like fabrics or like boucle, that sort of thing. But then I really like to juxtapose that with vintage pieces, retro finds, antiques. So for me, I love going to like antiques fairs and markets, especially when you can find something that's such a good price. There is this guy who, I don't know what his shop's called because it's got no logo on the out, like no branding on the outside, but it's on Brixton Hill. And I don't know if it's a bit dodgy, but some of the stuff that he gets in there honestly is awesome. Like really amazing antique finds, and he sells them dirt cheap. There's a lot of crap in there, so you got to sift through it. But now and again, the finds that you can get in there are gems. So yeah, that's on Brixton Hill.
Love that. The TK Maxx of antique shopping.
Yeah, exactly. It's a bit rough and ready, but it is good. And then there's also a place in Lewisham called Aladdin's Cave, a place in Hoxton called Chase and Sorensen. They're really great gems for secondhand treasures, really offering that kind of like journey through time with a kind of curated collection of stuff. And then one I recently found, or two actually, both South London. One is called Northcote Road Antiques, which is in Clapham. Yes. You might know that one.
I've actually popped in there.
Yeah. Oh, you haven't? Or
I have, yeah. Lots of like knives and forks and stuff.
Yeah, it's good for crockery, good for small bits. It's a little bit pricier than some other places. But if you want more furniture, definitely go to Crystal Palace Antiques. I think that's my favourite find that I've found recently. They have 4 floors of art, light, furniture, like I think most like all original kind of retro stuff, and the pricing is like really fair.
Oh my gosh,
It's not extortionate. So if you're a mid-century lover, or looking to renovate on a budget, definitely it's worth a trip there.
I didn't know about that one.
Yeah, I only found it recently, and there's a really good brunch spot around the corner called Spinach, which is basically next door. So if you want to make a day out of it, go to Crystal Palace.
2 favourite things.
Yeah, combine your 2 favourite things and then go for a walk and see the dinosaurs in Crystal Palace Park.
Love that.
Yeah. And then one in Marylebone as well called Alfie's Antiques and the Old Cinema in Chiswick. They're actually 2 I've not been to, but I've been recommended that they're really good.
Yeah. I love it. I feel like this whole buying secondhand, buying reuse, buying vintage retro, whatever you want to call it, is just booming.
It really is, yeah. And I think it's really nice to make like the best spaces are the ones that feel dynamic and exciting. And I think in order to achieve that, definitely buy new stuff for sure, but yeah, mix it in with those older pieces, and I think you'll end up with a result that's much more interesting and unique than buying everything from kind of high street stores,
and like sort of stands the test of time a lot better.
I mean, everything that was made decades ago seems to last years and years and years. The stuff that we buy now, it deteriorates if it's from a bad company.
I've actually, as we were talking about that, I've just finished The Italian Job with Alan Carr and Amanda Holden.
Oh,
don't know if you've seen it.
I've seen 1 or 2 episodes. Yeah,
I was obsessed, hooked, and they were like going through all these gorgeous, Italian secondhand markets.
I bet they're amazing.
So I've got a real itch to scratch to go and dive into the Crystal Palace.
This is the thing, though. I don't have any space left in my flat, so I'm gonna. It's like. For me, it's like torture.
Yeah, you're like, I can look, but I can't buy. Yeah. And for anyone who's coming to London for the weekend, how would you map out your perfect 48 hours around the city?
Oh gosh, okay, let me have a think. So I think I would stay in somewhere like the Hoxton Hotel, just because there's a couple of different branches, I guess, all over London. The one in Central is really lovely. So if you want somewhere it's a little bit pricey, but the interiors are awesome.
And they actually, hack alert,
yeah,
they have the good rates. If you come by train, you get money off.
Nice.
Cha-ching.
They do actually sometimes do little opening deals as well on their new hotels that they open up. But I love them. They're really great. So I'd probably stay there, and I would start off in South London. Sorry, a little bit biased there. And I think I would go for a walk in Brockwell Park. As I said, I'm like so fussy about my parks because I have a dog, so I go every day. And Brockwell Park, I never get bored of it. The views of London are awesome. It's got Herne Hill right at the foot of it, which is a lovely place for like getting a coffee and that sort of thing. So have a nice amble around there.
Are you an outdoor swimmer?
No, but there is a lido. I'm not really a swimmer.
Brockwell is cold as well.
Yeah.
Give me a heated pool any day of the week.
People love it though. It's crazy. And then I think I would head to somewhere like Northcote Road in Clapham, just because it's such a beautiful road. There's loads of really good little homeware shops, cafes, restaurants, like fashion kind of shops as well. So a good spot to kind of get lunch and then just wander around. And then I think if I'm staying in South today, I'd probably end with dinner and cocktails, either at Forza Wynn on the rooftop in Peckham or Bottle and Rye in Brixton for like a romantic evening.
Gorge.
And then day 2, I think I would explore the other side of London to switch things up. So let's start off with brunch at Bistro. As I said, it's a really lovely space, and I think kind of Hackney Dalston way. And then after that, you're like a 10-minute walk from Columbia Road on a Sunday. You can go to the flower market, great people watching spot, get some flowers, dirt cheap, get a coffee. And then if you want to get lunch around there, you could. There's some really lovely kind of independent restaurants. And then maybe end the day again with a nice walk in Victoria Park. And then de Beauvoir Town, which is really good for like an afternoon, evening pub stop.
Yeah, some lovely pubs. Get that Sunday roast in.
Exactly.
Love it. Gosh, very active 48 hours. We'll be really getting
you've got to make the most of it.
Oh, well, it's been such a pleasure chatting. It's so nice to take stock of where we are and appreciate all the amazing spots around the city.
I know, you definitely take it for granted. And I remember my brother, he's he lives in Denmark, so he's not over here a lot. And one time he came over with his family and he was like, do you want to go on the London bus tour? And I was like, you know what? Fuck it.
Yeah.
And I learned so much about London, and it really made me have like such an appreciation for it. So I think, it's obviously lovely to go away and enjoy other cities, but definitely appreciate what you have on your doorstep.
100%. Give me a walking tour, give me a bus guide, give me an audio thing. I'm there for it.
Yeah, I love it.
Well, I do have a closing tradition of some quick fire questions.
Okay.
So let's get into it, shall we?
We shall.
Who is your go-to design hero or inspiration?
Oh my goodness. Design hero. There's two people that stand out for me. One is Athina Calderon. So she potentially is or was referred to on Instagram as I Swoon. So she's an American interior designer, but she also kind of leans into lifestyle and fashion, and she's just effortlessly cool. She has this incredible house in New York, and her style is epic. I also really like Sarah Sherman as Samuel as well. Her designs are super inspiring, really interesting play on like color and texture and stuff. So I think in terms of inspiration, they're the two kind of profiles I often flock to.
And are there any trends for 2024 that you're most excited about, or things you think we'll be seeing a lot of?
I think there's going to be really big resurgence in like steel and chrome. And formerly this is a material that I like absolutely hated, and I still don't love it, but I do think it is going to have a really big revival. So I'm keen to see how that plays out for this year.
That's true. I don't really know what I would do with chrome.
Yeah, it feels a little dated, but it's one of those things where it's got so dated that it's now come back again. Just like, everything in fashion or whatever. So interested to see where that goes.
And if you were living in any other era for its design, when would you live?
Oh my God. An era? Probably like Art Deco time.
Oh yeah.
I think that'd be quite cool. It was really abundant and rich and a little bit over the top. A little bit gothic too, which I like. So yeah, I think Art Deco period would be cool.
Love that. And if you just had to describe your own style in 3 words, how would you describe it?
Oh my God. Okay, so I would say that my style is quite different to probably what's perceived on like Topology style. Topology is all about kind of like affordable, clean lines, simple, nothing too fussy. And a lot of our clients like lots of colour. Whereas for me, in 3 words personally, oh God, did you say 3 words?
Yeah, let's do 3. We'll have more if you
Did
want.
you say 3 words?
Yeah, I said 3, but I'm easy.
I would say, oh my God, I don't know, neutral. I love neutrals. I'll say modern, neutral, and pared back.
Love it.
Probably my personal style.
Love that. I'm going quite calm.
I love earthy tones. For me, I can't live with too much colour. It gives me anxiety. So for me, it's all about green, like dark muted colours, greens, blues, creams, blacks, whites.
Lovely.
Anything that's calming.
And for anyone getting started on their interiors journey this year, what advice would you give to them?
So the first thing I would do is I would break it down room by room. And try and work out a budget on what you want to spend, so you've got like a clear goal in mind. And I think the most important thing to start with is honestly the layout of the space. So many clients just get it so wrong, or they'll rush into buying like their sofa when they've just moved in, when realistically they've not lived there before. They don't know if it's the right size, but they're just so keen to get something to sit on, they rush into it. So I'd say take your time and really plan your layout out first, so that you've got the best kind of plan of movement throughout the space. And I think naturally it will build up by there, and don't feel afraid about kind of doing it really slowly on your own time and just buying piece by piece, because I think ultimately you'll end up with a space that's, perfect for you.
Yeah, good things take time.
Exactly.
Oh, but it's been such a pleasure chatting.
It's been lovely, thank you.
No worries, we're very inspired to get out there and explore the city, so thank you so much.
You're so welcome, thanks again.
Thank you for tuning into this episode. I hope you enjoyed this conversation, and if you did, please, as ever, go on and make my day by leaving a little review or hitting that subscribe button. There are so many things I'd love to do with Curated Spaces this year, and that just helps make all of it possible. You can also head to our website for loads more content and also some inspiration for your next trip away. So go get planning your next vacation, and I'll see you next time for more of the London Edition.